become a platform that contributes greatly to nourishing Indonesia's contemporary dance ecosystem and fostering young Indonesian choreographers. With various international networks that the IDF has built, every festival edition is attended by festival directors and producers from various countries to carry out talent searches from Indonesia who are ready to have a career both nationally and globally. 1 minute 59 seconds is the average attention span before zapping on an internet video platform. Short when you have a lot to say, but enough to express deep feelings and share a pressing issue. 30 to 40 directors, choreographers, or authors, 30 to 40 pieces, 1 minute 59 seconds each. The result is a surprise that acts as a magnifying glass. Through a variety of themes, family, age, love, professional world, gender issues, racism, and global pandemic, we see a microcosm of a fantastic reflection of society and the problems and joys that make it move. Today's theme will be Objects, Bodies, Objects, conducted by Melanie Lane from Australia. The workshop will explore the relation between bodies, bodies to objects, and between objects and objects. The questions asked will be to consider how can the body be understood as an object? How can we assign an object to its own consciousness? How can we develop languages between these objects to create choreographies? Melanie Lane is an Australian choreographer and performer of European Japanese cultural heritage. She has collaborated with artists from film, visual art, theater, and music, creating works that tread between performative forms and contexts. Her independent work interrogates physical and cultural histories to express current and future social mythologies. To interrogate the body beyond dominant narrative, Lane has initiated multiple works and collaborations with performers, bodies, and disciplines far outside the remit of contemporary dance. Her independent work has been presented at international festivals and theaters such as Berlin, Tanz im August, Schauspiel Leipzig, December Dance, Oasis Dance Festival, Indonesian Dance Festival, Oasis Tempo, Dance Massive, Carriage Works, Chucky Move, Arts House, and Sydney Opera House. How to enjoy the workshop. First, activate or open your video after reading this. Second, rename your account with stage name / nickname _ residence. And lastly, click the closed caption option at the bottom of your Zoom to get translator access. Have fun!
Yeay! Halo semuanya, selamat sore. Selamat sore waktu Indonesia bagian Barat. Selamat datang lagi di workshop kedua Mas 9 oleh Ahn. Kita masuk ke hari kedua dan hari ini seperti yang kalian sudah baca, workshopnya dibawakan oleh Melanie Lane. Okay, so I'm just gonna right away give it to you guys, Clint and me and Melanie. Masiko, say your hellos, everybody. Let's start.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So maybe to start, Unmi, do you want to say something? Say hi to everybody. We don't hear you.
Hi, everybody.
Halo, selamat sore.
Unmi.
Thank you very much, Melanie.
Thank you for inviting me, Unmi. So good to see you.
Yay! Okay, you guys can go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks
Clint,
for coming to say hi.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to have Melanie today with us. We worked together a lot. We both lived in Berlin for a few years, and she danced in my pieces, I danced in her pieces. We both danced for Ahn, and we did a lot of silly, fun things together. And yeah, she's someone that really inspired me throughout the time that we work together. She doesn't inspire me anymore, but yes, she does. She's really wonderful. So I'm really happy to have you here with us, Melanie, and I give it to you.
Okay, thanks, Clint, and thank you, Unmi. I'm so happy to be invited and very grateful to have this opportunity to share some dance info and some dance ideas. So I'm really excited about this, and thank you, IDF, as well, for having us. So yeah, today I would like to share a little bit about something that I use a lot in my own choreographic practice, which is I often use materials and objects. And it's something that I think has been a part of choreography and dance since the beginning of time. I think it resonates with a lot of people and a lot of choreographers and a lot of dancers. So I'm sure all of you have seen works or have seen choreographies that use materials and objects in the past and in current times. So I thought maybe to start, I could share with you a little bit, just a few images of my own work where I use objects and materials, just so you get a bit of context around my own relationship to that practice. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you a bit of that. Let's see, so yeah, so I'll just go through pretty quickly through this stuff. Everyone can see that? So yeah, this is a work called Riddle, where I used these objects and materials to talk about taxidermy, actually. I don't know if all of you know much about taxidermy, but it's about basically bringing animals back to life by stuffing them, and it's quite an art form. This is another work called Held, which is really about architecture and the way that we create spaces for the place of home. So we kind of deconstructed walls and structures. This is Tilted Fawn. This is a work that has inside of each of these boxes a sound device. So it's also a sound installation as well as a sculptural installation. And the sound devices are actually very old tape machines. So it's quite lo-fi in many ways. Journey together with the sound moving in space. This is a gallery work where I, for 8 hours, was threading rope through a structure made by a visual artist called berDAYAbersama. And it was very much sort of a meditation of some sorts. You can see me meditating there. This is Merge. And this work was actually very much about objects and materiality and how we sort of navigate materials in our everyday lives and how they become a sort of extension of our bodies. So this work was probably, in many ways, the work where I explored objects very intensively, and it got very messy and very fun, but also, it had a lot of, I suppose, meditative practices inside of that as well, where we really tried to listen to the objects that we were working with. So thinking about the properties of those objects, what they felt like, what they represented, how they made us feel, what emotions they have, what emotions they give us, and how they inform the body in relation to those properties. This was a little research I did for a new work, which is still in progress. But yeah, we were working a lot with trying to create these sort of images that create illusion. That was the word I was looking for. This is Remake. This is a work I made for a ballerina. And it was really interesting because working with her, I learned that ballerinas work with many, many objects and props in their careers. And so we decided to amplify them. So here you can see these props, either sort of larger than normal. We created a bit of a rock and roll event. Yeah, so we sort of like made these objects and we made them amplified. This is Wonder Women. This is a work for 2 female bodybuilders, which we performed at Indonesian Dance Festival, actually. And here we used just 2 very simple objects. One was a very large piece of slimy fabric, which for us felt very much like muscle or skin. Oh, we used this as well. Glitter hairspray, very important to use in a work. And we used this very elongated pole, which is an object that bodybuilders have a lot of contact with when they're lifting weights and etc. So we were kind of deconstructing a little bit what this world of being a bodybuilder is for a woman. So that was a really interesting space to explore. This is Personal Effigies. This is a work I made for myself. It's a solo work. And it was very much about the different histories that I hold in my body, both culturally, so and also physically. So again, kind of playing with illusion and mythology. So I was collecting these objects. I rubbed out my nipples. I hope that's okay. And yeah, some costuming as well that could be seen as objects, I think, very much, which transforms the body. I think that's maybe all. Oh yeah, a few more. This is an opera I made with using a bat as a form of weaponizing the body. And this work I made in Indonesia in Solo with some Indonesian dancers. And this is a research we did where we were looking to create a future body. So we just played with some props we bought from a store and experimented with creating a future body. Okay, so that's a little introduction to my work with objects. And so today let's have a look at what we'll be thinking about. So just can't quite see because this is in the way, sorry. How do I move this? Okay. So let's have a look at this. The workshop will explore the relation between bodies, bodies to objects, between objects and objects. The questions asked will be to consider how can the body be understood as an object, how can we assign an object its own consciousness, and how can we develop languages between these objects to create choreographies. Okay, so that's the first question. Oh, I love this. Who is this? With a puppet, I see. That's beautiful. So the first thing we're going to try is this idea of how do we give objects a consciousness. A little game that I often play to start to understand what that means. And one way to think about it is to grab any object. So I'm going to demonstrate. I have this object here. It's like a plate, kind of like a big plate, right? And with this, I want to give it a name that doesn't belong to it as we know it. So that means, for example, I think about what it feels like, what it looks like, what it might represent. What does it make me feel? So my first impression would be this is a planet. Okay? I'm going to ask Clint to help me here, and I'm going to ask him to think about what is this object for him. Clint, what is this?
A table.
Table, okay. I'm going to try again. I think this object is My destiny. Okay, Clint, try again. What is it?
A potato.
Potato. Okay, I'm going to try again. I think this object is a window. Clint, try one more time.
I think it's beauty.
Nice. I like that. It's very deep. Okay, so it's a very simple exercise. It's basically its properties and then giving it a name. So we start to give these objects names. I like to call it kind of like a christening. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually take 2 minutes to find 5 objects in your space, in your house, wherever you are at the moment, and they can be absolutely anything. 5 objects. See if you can find 5 objects that are quite different from each other, right? Does everybody understand this? I'm going to play a song that goes for 2.5 minutes, and that's how long you have to find 5 objects in your room. Okay? Everyone got it? Okay. I'm going to play the music. And off you go. Go. Oh, sorry. Oh, stop. Okay. Basic. Right, are you back?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so we're going to go to the next thing. So we're going to play this game. It's called Objek Kasih Nama. Okay, so a couple of things to think about. One is, when you're looking at your object, ask these questions. What does it instantly remind me of? Objek ini mengingatkan saya pada apa? How does it make me feel? Rasa apa yang ditimbulkan dari objek ini? What is its alternative function? Apa fungsi alternatif dari objek ini? What, who, where could it represent? Hal apa yang dapat direpresentasikan dari objek ini? What is its emotion? Apa emosi dari objek ini? What is its history or future? Seperti apa masa lalu atau masa depan dari objek ini? Okay? Does everyone understand that? These questions? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break out into groups of 6 people, right? And you all should have around 5 objects. So what we're going to do is one by one, you're going to show your group your object, and everyone in the room is going to give it a name. Everyone is going to give your object kasih nama. Okay? And you're going to do that one by one. You're going to share your object, and everybody will give it a name. Share the next person shares an object, everybody give it a name. The next person shares an object, everybody give it a name. Okay, so it's a very simple exercise, but it starts to help us use our imagination. And that's really important for this workshop, is to start to get our imagination really start to work that muscle. Okay, so we're going to break out, and then me and Masiko will jump into each room to see how you're all going. If there's any questions or confusions, we'll try to help you out. Okay? Is it okay? Okay, let's do it. So let's break out, everybody. I don't know who's organizing that. Mitai. Enjoy it. Have fun. Try to dream, like be crazy. Think about the most craziest things you could name that object. How far away from the actual thing it can be. All right. Who's doing the breakout room? Is that Mitai?
Yes. Wait.
Okay, cool.
Wait 1 more minute. Yeah.
Okay. So nice to see all these beautiful faces from Indonesia. Mm-hmm. And some familiar faces too. Great. Breakoutnya di-cancel kah? I'm sorry, also maaf, bahasa saya tidak bagus. Tapi saya coba sedikit.
Melanie,
Ya,
ibunya orang Indonesia ya?
iya, ibu saya dari Jogja.
Ah, orang Jawa.
Ya,
Orang Jawa.
from Jawa, ya.
Okay, stand by everybody. 3, 2,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please do the no, he said so I was thinking flyers, I did the email, I invited you to the email, I told you yesterday when I left, it's going to become early in the morning. No problem, I'm gonna be there. You know what?
Okay. Is it happening?
Belum selesai.
Does everybody have their 5 objects? Yeah? Great. I can't wait to see them all. Maybe while we're waiting, I can put the questions back up so you can have a look. So these are the questions, just to have a look at while we're waiting.
Halo, dinyalain semua aja mikrofonnya daripada kita sepi-sepian gini. Hostnya belum ada ya?
Kayaknya Mbak.
Belum ada ya?
Ini udah dibagi grup ya?
Iya.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Udah 6 berarti. Siapa namanya? Maafin.
Kayaknya hostnya masih sibuk. Aku tadi ask for help. Mungkin masih di grup lain. Tadi kita disuruh cari 5 benda kan ya?
Iya, benar.
Atau mungkin gini ya. 1 orang 1 aja ya Mbak? Apa 1 orang 5 nih? Banyak amat.
Kayaknya 1 orang 5 tadi. Terus disuruh kasih nama, terus jadi yang aku catat baru 2 sih, mungkin ada yang lebih ingat. Itu mengingatkan kita pada apa?
Terus rasa apa yang timbul saat berhadapan dengan objek itu?
Terus
Emosi apa ada dalam objek itu, kemudian seperti apa masa lalu dan masa depannya dari objek itu, kemudian apa fungsi dari objek itu.
Kayaknya boleh yang ngasih nama boleh di grupin teman-teman sesama teman-teman deh, nggak harus kita sendiri juga. Ya kan tadi kalau nggak salah
Gimana?
Gimana Mbak? Putus-putus suaranya Mbak.
Enggak, maksudnya boleh saling memberi nama gitu. Jadi kalau aku sih pemahamannya mungkin dari kita satu orang satu objek kan, terus bisa saling memberi nama gitu kan. Jadi mungkin nih aku ada 5, milih yang mana gitu kali ya. Kalau kita 5, masing-masing 5 kan jadi 30, banyak amat.
Sih nyambungnya malah ya itu sih, kita masing-masing maksudnya sering bercerita di grup ini, 5 benda itu kan satu nyambungku gitu.
Kalau
Kalau
aku nangkapnya kayak gitu Mbak.
Gitu.
Jadi menceritakan benda yang kita pilih ya.
Iya benar.
Ya. Siapa yang mau mulai duluan? Latihan kalau hostnya
mulai
nanti.
Duluan, nah ya udah duluan. Gantian.
Kayak satu-satu gitu kayak itu kali ya Mbak.
Boleh.
Nah.
Ayo gantian.
Siapa mau duluan?
Aku deh.
Oke. Mbak Theodora.
Ya, ini aku punya tas kresek. Terus benda ini aku namakan mantan. Asik. Terus rasa apa yang aku hadirkan dari saat berhadapan dengan objek ini, keriuhannya gitu sih. Konflik-konflik yang terlibat antara aku dan mantanku yang kemudian akhirnya memisahkan seperti itu. Kemudian masa lalu apa yang terkenang saat berhadapan dengan objek ini, pastinya masa-masa yang tidak mengenakan, dan kemudian masa depan pastinya bakalan break out gitu. Jadi kemudian ya itu sih Mbak, rasa yang timbul emosi dari benda ini saat aku berdekatan dengan objek ini pastinya emosional, jadi penuh dengan amarah seperti itu. Dari aku. Fungsinya sebenarnya aku malah nggak punya, karena mungkin nggak kali ya, jadi aku nggak mau ada fungsi apa-apa dari dia, kayak nggak ada
Buang kenangan
ya,
gitu.
Kayak itu dari aku sih teman.
Oke, satu ya berarti ya. Kita coba satu-satu. Bu Sinta. Sumpah ini Bu Sinta ini nama saya juga Sinta, tapi karena ada Bu Sinta saya ganti Sinju.
Gak apa-apa juga Mbak, biar sama.
Bu Sinta bisa satu.
Duluan Mbak, saya masih mencari inspirasi nih.
Oke. Atau Mbak Karisma? Atau Mbak Sri Mulyani mau dulu?
Oke, halo, apa kabar Mbak?
Hai.
Senang jumpa teman-teman semuanya ya. Semoga kita bisa berkolaborasi bersama.
Amin.
Ini seperti kemarin aku juga paling dekat ini ada bantal kursi. Nah, ini bisa aku kasih title-nya kekasih. Biasa kan kalau kita ngadep bantal itu pengennya tidur.
Yeah.
Kalau enggak dikelonin. Apa diilerin sekalian.
Bener.
Tapi kadang-kadang bantal ini juga dia mau kita entutin, kita kita buat tempat duduk, buat pantat kita juga mau kan gitu ya. Nah, itu nanti bisa menjadi elemen-elemen koreografi nanti. Aku pakai ini.
Terus gini, bantal ini satu mengingatkan kayak kekasih gitu ya. Lalu rasanya dihadirkan adalah kenyamanan. Emosi yang timbul di benda itu apa?
Emosi yang timbul ketika bantalnya itu rusak. Nah, ketika nanti misalnya bantalnya ini robek, atau bantalnya dipakai orang lain, kita nggak kebagian bantal.
Kalau
aja kekasih rebut orang.
Sedih, bahagia.
Ya sedih, bahagia, semuanya ada.
Oke.
Ya. Tempat kita berkeluh kesah ketika kita bermasalah, kita menangis dengan bantal juga.
Curhat ini nanti.
Kita buat curhat kan? Nah, yang kalau dipakai orang, itu artinya sekarang itu musimnya pelakor banyak loh. Jadi kita marah kalau kehilangan bantal kita, ya enggak sih? Jengkel gitu. Ya itulah, nanti itu sebuah inspirasi yang bisa menggambarkan di sana, Mbak. Gitu.
Lalu masa lalu dan masa depannya si bantal apa, Mbak?
Apa?
Masa lalu dan masa depannya bantal apa?
Ya, masa lalunya bantal ini apa namanya? Apa ya? Semacam dia hanya sebuah benda yang apa ini namanya? Sebuah benda yang tidak dibentuk menjadi sebuah bantal. Tapi masa depannya bantal itu sampai akhir zaman dipakai orang.
Fungsinya?
Fungsinya apa aja? Bisa buat kita duduk, bisa buat kita tidur, bisa untuk curhat tadi, menangis dengan bantal, sampai pagi pun kita betah di bantal.
Kira-kira bantal itu mau dinamain apa, Mbak?
Tadi udah aku bilang, kekasihku.
Kekasih. Halo, Mas Iko.
Halo, lanjut nomor. Saya cuman mampir kok.
Apa ya, itu bahasa lain kekasihku ya, yang sekarang lagi ngetren apa ya? My hubby.
Monggo lanjut nih. Saya jalan ke
Mbak.
Matur suwun.
Ya, Mas.
Bu Sinta, sudah ketemu inspirasinya?
Sambil di klinik ini jadinya nggak inspirasi.
Gimana?
Apa ya? Sekarang yang aku pegang handphone.
Oke, HP.
Handphone. Bisa aku namain gadis kali ya, Dewi.
Gadis.
Soalnya cantik. Terus terus kita bisa ketemu teman-teman yang nggak ada di depan mata, ya kan? Kita bisa berkomunikasi dengan orang-orang yang tidak ada di sekitar kita, gitu. Jadi biarpun jauh di mata tetap dekat di hati. Terus apa lagi, Mbak? Masa lalu
dari gadis itu.
Gimana?
Rasa yang dihadirkan.
Rasa yang dihadirkan memberikan kebahagiaan, dan karena kita bisa berkomunikasi dengan semua orang yang kita mau. Gitu. Terus kalau masa lalu mungkin kan ya awalnya kan mungkin ini kita nggak tahu ya dia masa lalunya dulu sama siapa ya. Bisa jadi dari pabrik ini.
Bisa jadi, Bu. Pasti itu.
Itu udah pasti, Bu.
Ya,
ayo Mbak,
walaupun mungkin dia jadi masa lalu itu adalah yang harus sudah kita lupakan. Jadi walaupun mungkin udah dipegang-pegang banyak orang, saat ini adalah milik kita.
Benar.
Masa
fungsinya
depan ya
komunikasi ya.
Fungsinya supaya kita bisa keep in touch dengan seluruh teman-teman, dengan seluruh keluarga. Kalau masa depannya mungkin nanti kita bisa ya kalau sekarang masa depan pakai handphone udah bisa saling lihat ya. Kalau dulu kan cuma bisa SMS gitu kan, WA. Ya mungkin besok lain kali bisa langsung. Jadi atau mungkin kayak Doraemon gitu ya, langsung bisa nyemplung.
Benar.
Langsung ke sana. Masuk ke dalam objek itu langsung ketemu gitu kan. Enak banget kan. Langsung ada di Surabaya, kita buka kan nomornya gitu kan, langsung cing gitu.
Benar. Oke.
Banget ya.
Aku ya.
Ya.
Oke. Kalau aku benda yang terdekat dan nempel di diriku adalah ini. Minuman, botol minuman ini. Jadi ini kalau boleh tak kasih nama ya sweetheart ya. Sweetheart satu karena dia memang manis ya, dan dia memang nggak pernah lepas dari aku. Jadi ini my sweetheart. Terus dia ngingetin aku sama apa? Ya sama. Ya karena aku pecinta teh. Jadi dan bukan pecinta teh lagi ya, pecandu teh ya. Minumku teh selalu. Jadi makanya ini yang mengingatkan pada diriku sendiri sebenarnya. Kan kayak aku tuh udah identik dengan ini di mana-mana. Lalu rasa apa yang dihadirkan? Rasanya sebenarnya ini candu karena tanpa ini
ya.
Jadi setiap hari harus ada ini candu, rasa yang mencandu ini. Lalu emosi yang timbul, emosi apa yang timbul? Ya jelas bahagia dong. Karena ini sugar kan, sugar high. Gitu. Pasti namanya orang kalau kebanyakan gula, pasti ya bikin kita high kan. Tanpa pakai yang begitu, udah high kalau minum ini gula. Nah, masa lalunya, kalau ini masa lalunya sebenarnya, masa lalunya dia mungkin mudah, karena sekali pakai ya, jadi gampang buang gitu kan, gampang buang. Lah, minum habis buang. Lalu masa depannya ini adalah penyakit. Kenapa aku bilang penyakit? Karena di masa depan kalau aku sering konsumsi ini pasti aku sakit ginjal. And it happens gitu kan. Jadi ya ini penyakit masa depannya. Lalu fungsi dari benda ini jelas melegakan tenggorokan alias menghilangkan haus kita. Kayak gitu karena ini minum. Gitu. Itu yang benda yang tak pilih hari ini. Sweetheartku.
Sweetheart.
Jadi kita kali ini melo-melo ya.
Iya, dari mana?
Melo.
Terima kasih.
Tapi bukan berarti koreonya nggak harus melo kan?
Iya.
Ini kita cuma berempat
Masih ada
aja,
satu
Mbak.
lagi loh yang belum, Mbak.
Ada yang belum ya?
Iya. Ini
Iya,
siapa nih namanya? Romo Pambudi.
Romo.
Tahu sama tadi dari Solo ada kan ya? Kok belum
Kayaknya
hilang
gitu
videonya?
deh, Mbak.
Tadi kayaknya kita berenam ya, kok jadi berlima.
Kita harusnya berenam ya?
Iya, tadi tuh yang awal itu berenam.
Ini Pak Pambudi, Romo Pambudi.
Pak Romo dari Malang.
Ya, yang dari Malang.
Pak Romo.
Videonya dimunculin supaya kita nggak kesepian. Ini kan perempuan semua ya. Gitu kan. Biar ada cinta gitu.
Itu biar bantalnya berfungsi tadi dalam bantalnya Mbak Sri.
Ini perempuan di sini.
Mbak Sinju itu Surabaya mana ya?
Surabaya Barat.
Oh, aku di Rungkut.
Surabaya Barat mana?
Aku ya.
Di Rungkut.
Iya.
Oh, Rungkut.
Main, Mbak. Nanti teman-teman yang Theodora kalau ke Surabaya main ke rumahku, Mbak Sinta ke Surabaya main ke rumahnya.
Oh, ini berarti yang Surabaya 2 nih, Mbak Mbak Sinju.
Iya, aku juga
jadi siapa sebenarnya, Mbak? Sesama Sinta dilarang menyingkat-nyingkat.
Kalau ini panggilan dari SMP, Bu Sinta. Jadi dari SMP aku dipanggilnya Sinju karena Sinta kami. Jadi paling gampang Sinju dah kalau mau ganti.
Sinta siapa?
Sinta Junior Utami.
2 menit lagi kayaknya kita lanjut atau gimana sih, Mbak? Nungguin Pak.
Tungguin aja.
Ya, oke.
Sambil dipanggilin kali ya? Pak Romo.
Kira-kira tadi ada saran nggak Mbak Sinju buat aku? Tadi, tentang propertiku tadi loh.
Overall sih ya kita kan pasti punya pandangan sendiri-sendiri tentang benda dan value-nya. Jadi bebas.
Iya.
Bebas banget namanya karya karir gitu kan. Bebas banget.
Ya.
Terus Mbak Siju selama ini apa kegiatannya?
Yang ini ya, yang gampang.
Kerja di sekolahan.
Aku tadinya mau ngambil yang ini, cuman ini susah.
Apaan Ibu?
Apaan Mbak?
Gak kelihatan, kepotong.
Obat.
Kok sih
gak kelihatan?
macet ya?
Freeze Bu, freeze. Enggak.
Iya, nge-freeze.
Iya.
Geraknya jangan cepet-cepet, nge-freeze.
Padahal nggak kenceng nih.
Oke, kita harus kembali.
Kembali ke gimana caranya?
Oke, bye.
Bye.
Pak Romo. Oke. We will be return to the main session.
Oh. Hi, everybody. Is everyone back now?
Yes.
That was nice. I didn't manage to. Hey.
Hi.
I didn't manage to get to everybody's rooms, but the rooms I did go into, it was really fun. I think the imagination is definitely activated, so that's super cool. Great. How did you all go? Thumbs up? Oh. Okay, great. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make a little choreography with our objects. So to do this, I'm going to share my screen one more time. Here we go. So what we're going to do now is make a choreography between object and object. So for example, I'm going to use one object and I'm going to use another object. Okay? And we're going to create an action between these two objects. So it means you really just have to think about what is the property of this object and what is the property of this object and how can I create some kind of choreographic action. So, I mean, mine is pretty simple. I'm going to try this. Whoa, whoa. This is my choreography, okay? It's very simple. Okay, and I'm not going to finish there because what I want to do now is I want to remember. This is my desire. Remember I kasih nama, this was my desire. And this, I'm going to say, is my reality. Okay, so my reality and my desire are kind of having this little dance together. My reality and my desire. Okay, so this was a very simple example, and you can keep it very simple like this. So what I would ask you to do is take your 5 objects and just start having a little play around with how you can combine 2 objects together and create an action.
Hi, Vicky.
And think about the names that you have given them and how can that have some kind of meaning or some kind of narrative in the choreography that they are doing together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So try a few different combinations. I've said here, explore 3 variations of what this choreography could be. So you could change objects. You can try different combinations of objects. You can try all objects at the same time if you want to, if you're feeling really up for it and experimental. So I would take just, let's see, what's the time? Let's take 10 minutes to have a play with this idea, just on your own. So you're working on solo at the moment, yeah, in the space that you're in. I'll put a little bit of music on so you have a bit of a vibe. And we'll just go for 10 minutes just to find 3 variations of choreography with objects. And then after, we're going to share them with each other. Okay? Is that clear for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to share some sound and it's going to go for like 10 minutes. And during that time, you can explore as much as you want. Okay?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to put some music on.